face right now. I honestly, I want this to get turned on.
Tell me how I get this way, doing things I can't explain.
Hello guys and welcome back to Seal by Sketchbook. Is the camera angle weird? Better. Hello guys and welcome back to A Seal by Sketchbook. This is part 2 of the series of me doing the interior design process on how I'm renovating my living room. I'm gonna put a little disclaimer here that I might not do this over the period of few weeks. I might take years to actually, well, not years, I might take a couple months to, finish off this project just because of like multiple personal reasons. But I promise you I'll show you the result before I even do anything else. So if you want to join me, please, if you haven't watched the previous video, go back, watch it, because I conducted a weird interview with myself. Waiting. So in this video, I'll be talking about schematic design. Schematic design is like the concept, and we're going to be talking about space planning. We're going to be talking about how we can, shift things around and make the layout work for our clients. In this case, my client is myself. It's a matter of, planning the space. And then while we're planning the space, it's also we're going to be doing the concept, and which is the theme or like the mood of the room, because a good design means that you are thinking about all of the aspects at once and you're not leaving anything out. Okay, so since we're going to be talking about schematic design, what I did last time is I drew the layout of the room. It's very good to draw the layout of the room as soon as you finish your meeting with the client, just because you remember more details. And obviously you want to take photos of the whole space so you can have a reference to get back to any area that you're not sure about. So luckily I have already drawn my layout last week, so I just need to show you guys how I'm going to be drawing the functional bubbles inside of my layout. How cool is that? Let me show you. Just like, it's actually really cool.
Downtown we let it go, sunset high and our bodies low, blood rush in a hazy glow. My hands, your bones, loose up, we break the scene. One step deep as you fall to me. Hot clap, we skip a beat. Count 1, 2, 3.
So for right now, if we want to discuss about what's happening in the space, we have a seating area where, like, me and my husband, we sit, we watch TV. So it's like we can say that this is one zone, and it's where we also socialize with our friends when they come over. I have my working area right here where the windows are. This is my view, this is the best daylight, and we have very minimal storage area behind the couch where we have shelves, and this is where we stuff a lot of things like suitcases and things that we don't use that much. So this is how things go. And as you know, that my requirements from the space are proper working space, a reading nook, and more storage space that is closed. It helps to write your space requirements or what the client requested from you on the side of your tracing paper, just because it's easier to access and you keep on track on how your planning process is going. So right now I'm looking at the space and I think we are in the best layout possible. Let me explain to you why. Because if we place the sofa right here and place the TV right here, we're gonna have some glare, so whoever's watching the TV will suffer with the glare. And if we do the other way around, we're gonna block some of the view, which is really, it's a really nice view. We can't block the windows. So to me, having the desk is something that is horizontal, but as well as it's low profile, so it doesn't shut the daylight out. Alright, to save you some time, I've already completed the functional bubbling within my layout, and as you can see, I have a kitchen right here which is impossible to change, so I decided to pinpoint the kitchen as my starting point, and therefore as you're going outside of the kitchen, the easiest way to serve food is to have the dining area here. I've decided to switch the seating area from this wall to this wall because we have a little projection here. We also have the TV output in this wall. However, I'm gonna ignore this fact because we only use Apple TV, so it's not really necessary to have a TV output. And I've decided to join the reading nook area to the seating area just because it makes more sense to have like all the seating gathered, and when we entertain, it's gonna have more seating for people. And why that made sense as well is because we have a very long wall here, and it makes sense to have the storage on the long wall with no projection, so if we want to mount anything on the wall we can, and we will not be restricted at all. So yeah, this is our final layout. Okay, let me know in the comments down below if you think that this is the ultimate layout, or do you think that we need to change something about it? I'm very interested. So now that our starting point is done, we can go and move to another more aesthetically pleasing part, and that is our mood board. I'm gonna be taking those materials and I'm gonna be starting with like the beauty aspect of my project. So what I've done here is I have a collection of materials that I always like whenever I go anywhere. I just collect materials, and I printed out a couple pictures that I want as the base for my design. But if we go back to the previous video, the keywords were modern and light, tropical, and a hint of eclectic. Before landing my first job, I created this guide on a moleskin, which helped me differentiate between different styles of interior design. And it's helpful if you want to understand what kind of characteristics are in each style. So right now, my keywords are modern, tropical, and there's a hint of eclectic. So I want to understand what kind of things associate with this design style so I can apply it on the mood board. So the elements of the modern design is like to have a minimal touch, absence of heavy decor or like a lot of ornaments, and we have like a neutral color palette, which is key point that my client, which is myself also, wanted me to use, and more of a like polished and shiny surfaces, geometry, asymmetry. So these are kind of like the things that define the modern style. Do you want me to do a whole video about interior design styles, explaining each of the elements, showing you examples? If you do, please comment down below and I'll make it happen. And if we go to the tropical style, so it's inspired by beaches of Hawaii. It has heavy prints of palm leaves and palm trees. We have flower prints, we have muted colors, and we have seagrass, which is something that I have in the background here. So I know I'm on the right track because I own these things already. And finally, we want to talk about the eclectic. So unexpected contrast, which I think is really cool because we want red in the space as an accent color, so we have this element. Mixed design styles, so it's okay to borrow an item or two from different styles. We have relies on building blocks of design, so colors, pattern, texture, more than we rely on having one style to define the space. And we have cohesive pieces, which like by the end of the day, even if you have an eclectic style, you want to make sure that everything is like in harmony and everything works together. So this is my guide. This is my beautiful guide. Okay, so let's do this, okay, shall we? So I like to start doing my mood board on a canvas, and my canvas here is gonna be a corkboard, and it's just easier to use a corkboard because I can pin everything onto it and then remove it when I'm done. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna lay my main pictures, my main mood pictures. So I found this on Pinterest. I thought it was very cool. You have like a little bit of rustic, so that's like our eclectic part. You have a lot of modern elements, the linen and the polished look to it. And we have the tropical elements. So this picture represents the mood that I'm looking for in my living room. And I found a couple other pictures to, you know, reinforce the same concept. I want to add a little bit of a marble touch to it. It's just because it's extremely modern and trendy. It's very easy to play with your design. If you have like clear white marble as a base, I'm going to be rearranging my picture so I can make it look nice. So I found one of the swatches that I got from West Elm is this swatch. And this texture is something that I would really like. It's more transitional than it is modern. So I'm gonna be adding this, hoping that I'll find like a curtain or something that will give me this sheen and texture. I'm going to be adding an element that I really love, and that is seagrass. I think that it will fit very nicely in the living room. One of the other things that is like that will take a big proportion of the design is the flooring. I'll find out a solution on how I can change the flooring for a rented house, but for now, if I can, I want to add this shade of wood, which is like a very light blonde wood. So I'm just gonna add it here. I'm also gonna add this because I love the neutral colors with a little bit of green hue. Now adding the maroon will be an accent. It will not be something that is so dominant. So I'm going to be adding it to my mood board. Since I have tropical as one of my keywords in the design, and I also want a little bit of red in my design, so I found this like piece of wallpaper that combines both. I will add this to my mood board as well. And now to just give the mood board some life, I add cutouts for the green leaves that I also really love. And at the same time, I'm gonna be adding a little bit of rose gold as my metallic accent. So yeah, this is the final look of the mood board. It's exactly the mood that will fit nicely in my living room. I'll show you in the next video how we can turn this into reality. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, share it with your friends if you think it will benefit someone, and hit the bell if you want to stay updated for the next video. It was a blast hanging out with you, so thank you so much for that, and see you next Saturday. Goodbye. Literally high five. You want to measure their space. So once you finish the measurements, you want to draw a draft line.